Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, my name is Nalini. So today, as the title of the video says, I'm here with some product regret. Now, I do buy a lot of makeup, and I do have a problem also with returning makeup. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to bring it back, or especially if it's shipped to me, I don't want to ship it back. So I end up with a lot of products that did not work out for me and they just sit here. So first, I want to start with some complexion products. I have a lot of complexion products because I'm a complexion junkie. Makeup, powder, anything like that, I'm here for it. So I want to start with this Nars powder, and this is the light, what is this really called? Light Perfecting Powder. Now, I've heard about this powder so much. This is not a brand new product. This is just a new color they added for deeper skin tones. This is in the shade Sunstone. I went on the Sephora website, all the reviews for this. I didn't see one bad review. Everybody loved it. I made sure I looked at reviews for people that used the Sunstone one. They loved it so much. It's so perfect. It makes your skin look so beautiful and so airbrushed and everything looks flawless. I've tried this powder. It does nothing for me but sit in the little crease by my nose. That's what it does for me. I've used it with a beauty blender. I've used it with a regular sponge. I've used it with a brush. It doesn't work for me. To me, it doesn't. It's supposed to be translucent, so I don't expect to see much color or anything like that. But for me, it just flat. It just sits on my face. I don't see what the big deal is. Maybe you guys can give me some suggestions for using this powder. And I wasn't satisfied with that. Instead, I'm very impulsive when it comes to shopping, especially buying makeup. And you think I would give this a test run, see how I like it? No, I went and I got the pressed version right after I got that, even before I tried it, because I figured, oh, this powder is so great. I can keep this in my purse. I can bring it with me when I go out, and I can touch up with this. It's going to be so wonderful. This is also in the shade Sunstone. Comes with this little spongy thing, and you can clearly see I've used it. This also does nothing for me. And I remember distinctly one day I was at work and my chin was so oily, and I went to touch up with this powder, because usually I have my Fenty powder in my little makeup bag that I bring with me, and I would have to be really greasy to touch up my makeup. I don't really touch up my makeup, and I used this instead. And instead of like just making it not as greasy and making it look more matte, it just moved the foundation. It lifted it up, and my whole chin was all patchy and oily, and I was so annoyed. This is what it looks like. Again, if you guys have used this powder, what is your experience with it? This is what it looks like when you swatch it. And like I said, it's kind of colorless. It doesn't really have a color. It does nothing for me at all. I regret this so much, but I deserve it. I deserve it, especially for the compact, because I should have given this one a try first. Yeah. More powders that I regret buying, and I've spoken about this on my channel like a couple times now. I just don't like these Pat McGrath powders. I love the foundation. I did a foundation review. I love the foundation. I do not like these powders, because at first I got the really dark one. This is in the shade, what shade is this? This is Deep 4. It was way too red for me. I thought I can work with it, but I realized it's nice and rich and beautiful, the color, but just not for me. But I realized it's not just the color. I just don't like the powder. It just makes my skin look aged and dry. And I have the number, what is this? This is the medium 3. I figured I could use this under my eyes as a brightening and also a setting powder under my eye. I do not like this either. Every time I have tried to use this powder, and because it's Pat McGrath, I love the foundation so much, I was like, why don't I like these powders? But every time I've put this powder under my eye, it has creased and it has made my eyes look very crepey and dry, no matter what I do. This just does not work for me. And I looked at reviews because I was like, what is it? What is going on with me that I don't like this powder? And every time I've used it, like a few hours will pass, I'll look under my eye and I'll see little crepey lines when it creases, and I hate that because it just makes my under eye like look so dry. I feel like it ages me. I don't like these powders, and they're not cheap powders. Anyway, another powder, my Lemare powder. This big old tub of Lemare powder. The only good thing, I did not pay full price for this. I got this at my local CCO. I have no doubt this powder is fantastic. This is just not for a girl, a chocolate girl like me. I've come to realize that. It is too light. I have put this with a little bit with a damn beauty blender. I mean, I don't go ham because I know it's light. It doesn't have like a color, and it has like an almost pinkish color. I'm pretty sure you've seen this Lemare powder. This one in this tub is discontinued though, I think, or reformulated or something. It's in a different container. But I was like, oh, I want to buy the Lemare, the powder. And I used this once or twice, and what really made me not use it after that, this just sits on my vanity as decoration, like, oh, I have Lemare powder. I went to pick my son up from track, and it was kind of almost getting to evening, but not so much evening. So it was right at that point where like you can like see yourself in the rearview mirror before it gets dark. And I was like, what the hell is going on under my eye? I look like a powdered poos. It has such a white cast. I was like, girl, what are you doing? This Lemare powder is not for you. I'm NC50 and MAC. I don't think this powder is for me. I've used a brush, pat it on. I've used those little makeup sponges, the little square sponges, packed it on, didn't work. I've used a beauty blender, like I've said, does not work. That's way too light for me. And I'm gonna keep it though. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna find some kind of use for it because it's Lemare. Okay. Now, keeping with complexion products, I got 2 new foundations. Believe it or not, I'm still buying foundations after all the foundations that I have and the foundation, my foundation-a-thon and all of that. I did not need another foundation, but I saw Juvias Place came out with stick foundations. Yes, I have 2. I loved their liquid foundation, the one in the tube. I did a review on that and everything. I switched colors. I got Burkina instead of Malawi because I really like that foundation. I love their concealer as well. Their concealer was in my favorites that I did a few weeks ago. Now, I got the shade Benin and I got the shade Guinea. I got Guinea. When I swatched Guinea, I figured, oh, it's a little too dark. I'm gonna mix it with Benin because Benin had more of a yellow undertone. And then when I went back on there, no, I think I was on Instagram scrolling and I saw Benin and it compared to NC50 and MAC, which is me, and it compared to Burkina. Now, these foundations, so which one is this? This is Benin. Color is not bad, as you can see, but this foundation just did not look good on me. And this is Guinea. They're creamy, they go on fine. I had no problems with that. They blended out nicely. It's just the wear and how it looked. My face just looked eh. And as the day went on, to me, it started looking heavy, if that's even a thing. And I blended it out well. I did the same thing I do with when I put makeup on, but I use the same powders, the same concealers, and everything did not work out for me. I use it with a brush, I use it with a beauty blender. And I remember the last time I wore it, I wore Benin by itself, and I had a very, very, very long day. And about, I would say the 6 or 7 hour mark, I looked at my face and I was like, oh, my face just looked sallow. Like, it just looked like bland. Like, it was just bland. Like, it just, I don't know, this foundation just looked dead on me, for lack of a better word. It was really just meh. I did not like this foundation. I got them from Ulta, and you would think I would return them. I didn't, and they're sitting right here. I don't like it. Another stick foundation I bought because, you know, I didn't learn my lesson. I got the MAC Studio Fix foundation stick. I'm a MAC girl. I would always say I'm a MAC girl. I know a lot of people have problems with MAC. I love MAC because they were like the first, besides drugstore brand, that I started using. I love MAC, the Studio Fix line. Their Fix Fluid NC50, the Fix Fluid foundation, is one of my all-time ride or die foundations. And I was like, oh, they came up with a stick foundation, whatever. I was like, I'm not gonna do a review. I've been doing too many foundations. I picked it up, NC50. I did not like this foundation at all. Now, and to me, it looks a lot lighter than the actual, the fluid, to me, in my opinion. And it looked more neutral. There's not a lot of yellow in it. And I remember when I went into Ulta to get it, because my local MAC didn't have it. They had the last one and I felt so lucky. Oh, I grabbed the last one. Girl, no. Unlucky. This was even worse, I think, than the Juvias Place foundation. My face just looked like I might as well not have put any foundation on. It just looked so dull. Like for me, when I put a foundation on, it must, you know, pop, like, ooh, like, you know, I must see something like, you know, my face should just look beat and perfect and beautiful, because this is why I'm wearing makeup, because I want to look my best, because I can walk around without makeup and don't look my best. This did nothing for me. I did not like the formula at all. I put so many layers of this foundation on. It was hard to build. I could have still see the darkness like in my laugh lines and stuff like that. I don't like this foundation. If you guys buy it and you like it, maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. I don't know. I don't like this foundation. Anyway, let's talk about some eye products that did not work out for me. And I want to talk about this Chameleon Stack from, what is this from? Melt Cosmetics. I bought this because I've always wanted one of their stacks, because I know they have a bunch of them. But I think where I made the mistake, and I blame myself, these are not my kind of colors. These are like purplish, kind of like blues. This looks like such an old lady color. Now, as you can see, they're barely used because this is like a green dual chrome color. And then I have this green. This is not bad, but I can kick myself because I knew these weren't my colors. There was no golds. There was no bronze in there. Why did I pick this up? I have no idea. This was such a regret. I wasn't gonna mail this back to Melt Cosmetics. I don't use it because it's just not my color. I know I'm not gonna use it, so I totally regret buying this. Now, another thing I regret buying is these paints from Danessa Myricks. I feature them on my channel. I try to work with it. Now, these are absolutely stunning. I'm not even gonna swatch these because they stain like a mother. These stain so bad. The very first time I used one of these, the brush that I used to demo it on camera here is still stained from this. Really, really, really pigmented, and it stains. Now, I've seen her stories. Danessa Myricks, she's an amazing makeup artist that has her own line now. She curated a lot of stuff, I think, for Benefit, like their brow stuff. Anyway, I've spoken about her a lot of times on my channel because I love her. These products are fantastic, but I think they are for a professional makeup artist, not for somebody like me, because I've seen her Instagram stories, and when she put it on, they look spectacular. That's why I bought it. I cannot work with these. I've tried everything. I've tried my fingers. I feel like as soon as you put it on, like 2 seconds later, it's dried, so you can't move it. So it always looks unblended and weird and crazy, because these are so pigmented. Like I said, I'm not gonna swatch it because it's gonna stay in my hand or whatever. And when you put it on with your finger, you gotta go quick. And then it just dries so quickly. When I see her in her story, she's like painting it on, everything looks so, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just cannot work with them, which I'm so mad about, because these are stunning. The colors are beautiful. I can't work with this formula, so this is why I regret buying these. Now, these Natasha Denona eye pigments. Now, let me just preface this by saying, initially when I used these, I did a demo on my channel. I was so excited for these when they came out. I absolutely loved them, like I said when I did my video. And let me know if you've purchased this, if you have experienced anything like with these that I have. I don't know if it's because it was opened and air got in, but these have become so dry. Like, you would put them on, because I tried using it after I reviewed them, like, you know, in the days after that, and once you put it on, it just gets so dry. And I'm thinking it has to be because air got in and it dried out somehow. And they're stunning colors. God, can I see the colors that I purchased? Everything is so like little. These are the Chroma Crystals. That's what they're called. I can't see the names. Doesn't matter. I put them on, and like an hour in or so, I would like, see, this is what it looks like. Very beautiful, right? But like an hour in, and it didn't happen the first time I wore it. So I'm thinking it has to be something changed when I opened it, because this is what it looks like. Looks beautiful, right? An hour in, you can barely move your eyelids. It felt so dry and stiff. And as I move my lids, I can literally see it like cracking. You know, like when you have a wall that's slowly cracking, that's how my lids end up looking. And I'm very self-conscious, and I don't even want to like go like this in front of people because it's all cracky. I used the exact same primer. I used my MAC 24 Hour Stand Eye Base the first time I used it. I don't know. So I haven't reached for these after that, because I don't know if the formula changed or what when I open it. If you guys own these, let me know your thoughts, and maybe if there's something I can do, because I do like the colors and the concept of it. Just didn't, I don't know, just didn't work for me. Oh, I should have talked about this when I talk about Complexion Products, but it's not too late. I want to talk about this concealer from CoverGirl. I had such high hopes for this concealer. First of all, I love the packaging. I think it looks very expensive. Love the black and white on top. And this is I think they did this was from a whole launch. And I saw this in a drugstore that I don't usually go into. And I was like, oh, they have this, let me try it. So this is the CoverGirl, what is this called? The CoverGirl, I think this is the Tru Blend Undercover Concealer. I got it in the shade Caramel because all the other shades to me were either too light or too dark. And this to me, I've had stuff that says Caramel. This is more like like an olive undertone, and this is like the worst undertone for me because it makes everything look ashy. But that was not the reason I don't like it. I figured, you know, okay, it's a little olive, I can still work with it. This was just, when I put this on, I just didn't, from the time I put it on, first of all, and I try to set it with the powder, my Fenty powder that I've always used, it just got patchy. It kept lifting the product up. The second time I wore it, I let it sit. I kind of went around my face, did everything else, came back to set it, same thing happened. It gets patchy when I put powder on. I don't know, that's my experience. Do you guys own this concealer? Do you love it? Like, does that happen to you? Because this did not work out for me, and I had such high hopes that it's drugstore, pretty packaging. Didn't work out for me. Last thing is from Pat McGrath, and this is her highlighter stick. This was an impulse buy while I was walking past the display, and the lighting, Sephora is the devil, obviously, and the lighting is the devil's child. Because everything looks amazing when you're in Sephora and you're swatching stuff. So I picked this up. God, what is the name of this? This is her Bronze Skin Fetish Highlighter and Balm Duo. So this side has the, I guess the whatever, and you see it's like you put it on, you barely see anything. Like, I put this on my skin and I'm like, why did I buy this? And it was expensive. I think it was 40 something dollars, if or close to 50. And then on the end, this is just somebody who has perfect skin, who doesn't care for a lot of makeup, and want that beachy look where you just swatch this on your cheek and you just go about your day. That's not me. I like a full beat. And if I'm gonna buy something special from McGrath, I wanna see it. And this little balmy part of it, like, where the hell am I putting this? Where am I putting this? But when I was in Sephora and I swatched it, of course I was swatching this side and I saw, you know, bronze, gold, I go crazy. Oh, it's whatever. I put this on, it was barely noticeable. I tried building it up. It lifted up my foundation. I tried using it before, didn't really do anything. I mean, it's not like completely horrible, but for me, this was like a waste of money. I didn't need it. It's just, I can take my ColourPop, those spongy highlighters, and do the same thing, and I probably get more payoff. I totally regretted this. I should have taken it back. I don't know why I still have it and complaining about it. So guys, those are just a few things that I regret purchasing. Let me know in the comment section if you guys own any of these, if there's any way I can work with them, especially those Nars light perfecting powders or anything that I mentioned here today. Also, let me know some of your regrets. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. And I'm going to see you guys again in my next video. Bye, guys.